Let me ask you a question. Do you find that you've grown contented in life? And I ask the question because contentment is nothing like what I thought it was. I mean, for the longest time, I've always seen contentment as something negative. Like it was just some sort of passive acceptance of mediocrity. So, in an effort to not feel or be content with life, I fought hard against being labeled content. Because to me, it felt like that I was settling. But what if we've misunderstood what contentment really is? What if contentment is not about giving up? It's about leveling up. Today, I'm going to explore what it truly means to live a contented life. So when I think about someone who's considered content with life, I think about someone who's got a mediocre job, barely scraping by, paying some bills, swiping the credit card on DoorDash, and numbing out on Netflix with a six-pack of beer. That's what I thought contentment really was, kind of like a low life. And honestly, I didn't want to be that person. No one does. I mean, yeah, there's one side of you that just, you want those Saturdays, man. You want those vacations to be that slouch, that sloth, man. But, overall, from an overall standpoint, no, I don't want to be considered that kind of person. And then I come across this passage from James Allen that totally changed my perspective. James Allen writes that contentment is not just a state of being. It's a virtue. And virtues, by definition, are behaviors that reflect high moral standards. Contentment, he says, becomes lofty, which is insurmountable. Spiritual. There's a spiritual component to it. As the mind is trained to perceive and the heart to receive guidance in all things of a merciful law. Mercy means to bring relief. Let me reread that. Contentment becomes lofty, insurmountable, and spiritual as your mind is trained to perceive, which is an awareness, and your heart to receive guidance in all areas, not some, not personally, not professionally, not relationally, but in all areas. When your mind becomes, it's an evolution. So when it becomes trained, meaning it's an ongoing active thing. That's what contentment is. It's spiritual. So it's a spiritual component. As you evolve, you train your mind to perceive awareness, and your heart is open to receive guidance in all things of a merciful law. So let's unpack that. First off, contentment is not passive. It's active. It's about training your mind to see with clarity. It's about opening your heart to receive guidance. Your mind and your heart are connected, and it's about aligning yourself with a law that brings relief and mercy. Dude, this idea, when you unpack contentment now, that's a game changer. It's not about settling for less. It's about living with purpose and clarity. Now, here's the part of James Allen's writing that hit me the hardest when it comes to contentment. To be contented does not mean to forego effort. It means to free effort from anxiety. Pooh. To be contented, spiritual component, it's lofty, it's an evolution. To be contented does not mean to forego effort. It means that you're going to free your effort from anxiety. Think about when you're so troubled. It's because you're trying to overcome the past or force the future. And now when I look at being content, then I can free my effort. I just put in the effort. and I release myself. It's free from the anxiety, from the uncertainty. The results are going to be what the results are. This reframes everything because contentment is not about stopping at all. It's about striving without the weight of fear, of worry, or impatience. I don't have to worry about any of that. So when your effort is free from anxiety, you stop obsessing over the timeline of the results. Eventually and ultimately is until is my time frame. So eventually, I just consistent. I just put forth honest effort today, energetically and faithfully. So I put forth that. I separate the effort from the anxiety. I'm not going to be worried about that. Did I put forth honest effort? Was I faithful? Was I energetic? Faithful doesn't mean that you have surety. It doesn't mean I know exactly what the answer is going to be. But I trust whatever the results are, I'm going to be just fine. Because I'm going to continue to live a contented life. I'm going to continue to put forth honest effort. You just got to do the work. You just got to trust the process. Alan makes another crucial point. Contentment does not mean tolerating sin. When I say sin, I'm talking about toxic behaviors, toxic environments, toxic people. It doesn't mean that you tolerate that. It doesn't mean that you remain ignorant. It doesn't mean that you remain foolish. No, it's not about settling for toxic relationships, destructive habits, or foolish behavior. Instead, contentment is about resting in the satisfaction of duty done and your work accomplished. Just check the box. Dude, that is a complete game changer. And this brings me to an important distinction. There's perceived contentment versus pure contentment. Perceived contentment, when you think of a contented person, you often picture someone who's just coasting through life, mooching off someone, ain't got no responsibilities, just barely getting by. That's what you think of perceived contentment. But pure contentment, this is something totally different, dude. Pure contentment is the outcome of effort and true living. It's about working energetically, not big-lipping it, not half-assing it. It's about working energetically and faithfully with purpose. And it's about accepting all results with an untroubled spirit. Dude, how liberating is that? The only thing I have to do is step into my moments energetically, not half-assing it, not dialing it in, faithfully, and I accept all results with an untroubled spirit. It doesn't mean I'm going to have all W's. It doesn't mean I'm going to have all losses. It's a mixture of everything because you need the losses to push, to grow, to learn, to be more efficient. And you need the wins to push you through those losses because the wins, man, keep you in the game. So you need a mixture of both. James Allen calls this active achievement. I totally love that word. Contentment isn't passive. You're just doing the work and you're growing in the process. It's all about aligning your life with something greater. So what does it mean to live a contented life? Here's what I'm learning. Contentment, first off, you got to do the work. Contentment starts with honest effort. I have a mantra that I say all the time, lay the brick. The only thing I got to do today, the only thing you have to do today is show up energetically and faithfully every single day. Number 2, what does it mean to live a contented life? Free your effort from anxiety. Separate the egg from the yolk. Don't stress about the timeline or the outcome. Focus on what's right here in front of you. Win the decision, go to the next thing. And so when you put in a little bit of a process, just a few things that you can adhere to that keep you aligned with the person that you are becoming, not that you want to become. I've said that. Actually, the person that you're becoming, because change starts immediately. The results take time to show, but change starts immediately. So when you just do the work, lay the brick energetically and faithfully, the results are going to take care of themselves. Number 3, align with true living. It's not about chasing an Instagram perfect life. True living is about honesty and purpose and staying grounded to what matters. And number 4, contentment is not static. It's not, oh, well in it. Oh, it's just not in the cards. It's not meant to be. Well, if only I had. No, it's not static. It's something that you are going to build over time by what James Allen says, training your mind to perceive. You have to have an awareness. And you'll have that awareness as long as you're not hanging around toxic bullshit, you're not staying ignorant, and you're not doing foolish things. When you eliminate those things from your life, you'll have a deeper awareness. You're not going to sleepwalk through life anymore. So you're going to train your mind to perceive, which is an awareness, and your heart to receive guidance in all areas with an untroubled spirit. Hallelujah. Amen. Close the book. When you live this way, man, you can rest in the satisfaction of a job well done. Did you put forth honest effort today? Doesn't mean that you hit 100%. Doesn't mean that you always check the boxes. Shit, things come up, man. But did you put forth an honest effort? And did you accept the results? Meaning, this is what it is. I acknowledge it. I don't have to be okay with it. I acknowledge it. Okay. And my mind is perceiving and my heart is open to receive guidance in all areas. Just tell me what to do next. Tell me what I got to do next. If you can do that, man, you can accept every day as it comes because you did your part. You fulfilled your duty. You took care of your obligations and your fellow man. So here's the truth. The human side of us resist contentment. If you think about pushing against content, I don't want to be content, I don't want to be mediocre. You're fighting against contentment because of the way that you perceive it. And so when you push against contentment, you're actually creating more confusion and anxiety and impatience in your life. So here's what's trippy is what you're pushing against because you perceive contentment in a negative light. What you push against, you're making your life worse because you're confused, you're impatient, you're ignorant, you're not studying, you're not curious, you're not creative, you're being foolish, you're still doing foolish things, and you're still surrounding yourself, and you may not realize it. You're still immersing yourself in toxic environments, thinking, behaviors. They're just bringing destructive outcomes. Even the things, man, that you're taking in from media, social media, videos, podcasts. You know, I just, people that just love true crime stuff and they go to bed with podcasts listening to true crime. Like if you look at podcast charts, like most of them are all true crime. Like why do I want to feed my spirit? I love a good horror movie. I'm just not going to sit here and just pour that in and day out, but people do that. And then you wonder why your life is kind of fucked up. That's why. So instead of fighting against contentment, embrace it. True contentment isn't about giving up. It's about stepping up. And when you step up, now you're living a life of intention. You're putting forth honest effort. And you're trusting the process. So cliche to say, but you are, man. You trust in the process without fear. And so when you embrace this, your life becomes actually simpler. What do I end every podcast episode with? Keep it simple. Yes, we make things way too complex. I want to be content. I want to live content today to have a contented life. I don't need to chase all that bullshit. I put forth honest effort and true living energetically and faithfully and accept guidance in all areas with an untroubled spirit, and I'm okay. I accept the results. Cool. What's next? You gamify it, man. So when you do this, man, your life's going to be simpler. You're not going to be fighting against the past or forcing the future, and you're going to focus on the moment, the task. You just lay the brick. You put the effort in today. So here's my takeaway. Contentment isn't about settling at all, man. It's an alignment. It's a balance. spiritual, mental, physical balance that allows you to work faithfully without anxiety. So the only thing you have to ask yourself at the end of every day, did I put forth honest effort today? Was my effort free from anxiety? I'm not trying to overcome the past, and I'm not trying to force the future. I just fulfill my obligations energetically, faithfully. I lay it out. I push hard. If you do that, job well done. That's a contented life. Remember, keep it simple, keep it moving, never settle, stay tough. Peace.